That was pretty bloody close, wasn't it? It doesn't look like they're going to let us on the field this week. But yeah, 27-24. Bloody lucky, bloody lucky. Game of two halves, you'd have to say. Cliche but true. I'm not quite sure how the Blues weren't ahead by more in that first half, but the Highlanders certainly gave it a good fight in that second, and they'll probably feel pretty let down that it was kind of a charged down try that was the difference in this one. So, man, as a Blues fan, I'm not complaining. 3 from 3. You can see a lot of people already left, but there were a few more empty seats this week compared to that opening round. I think they said 27,000 people came compared to the like 43 in that first week. So yeah, it's a significant dip, but it's been a pretty average day here in Auckland, to be honest. It's been pretty wet, so the rain held off fortunately for most of the game, which was, I guess, kind of a bit of good news. Kickoff, like I said, was fine, and it was weird that kind of both sides were in their away jerseys. I'm not quite sure what the logic was there. Maybe they just haven't had much use of them this season, so they figured they better give them a wear, or maybe the Blues home jersey clashes too much with that Highlanders jersey. It doesn't happen that the Highlanders jerseys help, that the Highlanders jerseys both happen to be kind of blue, so not all that useful when you're playing a team called the Blues. Clark, 5 minutes, just stepped on a beer can. He got a try. He is having a bit of a barnstorming season since he's, come back to 15s after taking, a break from 7s, and forced break that is. There, bro.
Is this the post-match review?
This is the post-match
awesome.
review. Try not to step on beer cans and whatnot.
Awesome.
Cheers, bud. Good man. Yeah. Clark, a bit of strength, and early period of Blues pressure. So it was good to see him get another try. He's like I said, been in pretty good form. Highlanders though got a penalty. They didn't go for the kick. They decided to go for the point, and they ended up getting it. Ash Dixon, good try for them. They made it 7 apiece. So I mean, it was a good, interesting early period. Lots of crunching tackles, tuunga whasi, and some good hands from the Blues, if I'm looking at it from a mostly Blues point of view. What was it, like Papali'i to Clark, like great little phase, so it was proper good stuff. 14 minutes, Blues get a penalty, 10-7, but then the Highlanders go close, knock with a wee bit of a try save on old Nardiki from a kick through. So pretty tense stuff. Like I said, the Blues, like when I tell you the halftime stats, you would have thought they would have been up by more, for real. 5 metre scrum to the Highlanders on 19 minutes, and they go back for a penalty for offside. Hunt kicks a penalty, and it's 10 points apiece. So yeah, it was still tight. 22 minutes, Blues strike back, pretty much straight from the kickoff, and it's that guy Gregory, man. Gregory had a pretty tough night, didn't he, at the back? You could feel like the Blues were really trying to put him under a bit of pressure. He had a couple of knock-ons, a few kind of loose balls, and that was kind of costly. I think it was Tututu that charged them down. Papali got the try, so it was 17 points to 10, good conversion. And then Rico got one on 27, so it was all Blues at that point. It was Clark with the line break, and Rico running the inside support line. So missed the conversion, but 22-10 at halftime. Blues looking pretty comfy, to be honest. And I thought my Super Brew pick was looking pretty intelligent. However, second half would be a different story. Halftime stats though, run meters 275 to 84, so the Highlanders were still in double digits. Possession 62% Blues, territory 57% Blues, but still only 22-10, so still kind of game on. So maybe that could have been costly for the Blues on another night. Second half, Mitch Hunt, man, he just goes through a gap after some good phases in the build-up. I think Parkinson and Tu'u helped in that regard, and it was 22-17, and suddenly, man, like I said, that Blues lead, which they'd worked so hard to make, was gone, or at least close. And then Highlanders, Thwaites, man, the prop, he had one of the best runs of the game as well. He went close, but there was a knock-on they initially awarded a try to Punivai, but they saw there was a little knock on at the ruck, so they went back and Rico got yellow carded for a kind of cynical offside. And yeah, you'd think here's where the Highlanders put the squeeze on, because indeed they didn't go for the 3, they went for the try, and sure enough they got it through Frizzell. So yellow card period 7-0, and yeah, the Highlanders at that point got all the momentum. It was 22 for the Blues, 24 for the Highlanders, first lead change of the game. But then again, during that yellow card, and this is another reason the Highlanders fans will probably be shaking their heads a bit, Papali gets a try. It's from a line-out maul. Parsons had put a grubber through in the build-up, so a bit of a toss. Tutu kicked the ball through at one point as well, so the Blues forwards were having a field day with the old kicks through. But made it 27 points to 24. They missed the conversion. Gregory got substituted off, which was maybe timely. Hard night for him, but he'll come back. He's still young. And Lambourne comes on for a Kiriani, wins a penalty pretty much immediately, and that really stifles that last of the momentum for that Highlanders yellow card. So the Blues, despite having the one fewer man, only go into that yellow card period 5 points. They scored and the Highlanders 7, so pretty close. Bowden Barrett goes for a drop goal. It misses. Hunt goes for a 35-metre penalty. It misses, so it's still 27 points to 24, and that's the way it's going to finish, man. Hunt misses a drop goal later on. The Highlanders go so bloody close on like 70-odd minutes. That maul looks like it's going over for all money, and it's probably the loudest cheer of the match when the Blues manage to push them back and win the turnover. So, yeah, big scrum penalty at the end from the Blues as well, and that was enough to get the game, man. So, as a Blues fan after that one, that was a lot more stressful than I needed it to be. I was hoping for something a bit more convincing, but again, 3 from 3. I'm not going to complain. I'm a pretty happy Blues fan. So yeah, so 2-2 is magnificent. Clark, brilliant game from him. We say goodbye to Marchant now after he leaves. Highlanders, still a bit of a youthful side. Some guys with more sevens background. Again, I wouldn't write them off, man. They got 3 points within this Blues team away from home, and on another night could have won it. So yeah, good game, close, could have gone golden point, but the Highlanders opted to go for that maul instead of a kick. Was that costly? We'll find out. But final stats, Blues run meters 381, Highlanders 222, so you can see they really came into it in their second half. Possession 54, Blues 52 territory, so again evened out for the most part. Lineouts were 84% for the Blues, 92% for the Highlanders, so they both had a couple of loose ones, but for the most part pretty solid. Tackling, both sides really solid, and the Blues, 11 penalties conceded to 6. The overall penalty count was a lot lower than we've seen in Super Rugby Aotearoa this far. So yeah, maybe that's one good thing, that there wasn't so much in the way of heavy penalties. But yeah, I'm about to go home. Eden Park, a little bit wet, but happy, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again for the next one. Let me know how you thought this game went, and yeah, talk to you again soon. See you later.